and like runs at the camera crew, jumps out of the window, smashes it, and then like runs around the grass, just like yelling and screaming. And Louis Theroux just like opens the door very gingerly to the guard and goes, "Jill, yeah, I think we've got everything. I think we're good."
I think I was passively watching on iPlayer is Louis Theroux's new show.
Oh yeah,
which I don't know if you've seen. It's called like Forgotten America,
Forbidden America.
Yeah. And there's this new one where, like, I know he's famous for being like an antithesis to his like subjects, right? Like the places he is. I've never seen him more out of. Okay, very cool. I've never seen him more as a fish out of water. He's doing like the whole like Miami, Florida trap scene. And trap, exactly. The fact that you didn't even know it like proves it's like, you know, Post Malone.
Yes.
He's like, I'd say, popularized trap music. So it's rap, but it's all about like flexing and like auto-tune. It's some of it's pretty good, but it's pretty out there. It's like all about feuds and gangs. And Louis going into this, he's interviewing these people who essentially made these diss tracks on each other where they're like glorifying owning guns, and not just like little guns, like big, like
James Franco in Spring Breakers.
That's exactly what they look like. If you've seen James Franco in Spring Breakers, that's exactly who we're dealing with.
Look at my shit!
Yeah.
Look at my shit!
Yeah,
apologies for swearing.
Yeah. And he goes into this like really rough neighborhood, and these guys are like sitting in the front of the garden next to a fire, drinking and smoking, and he just comes up, "Hello, I'm Louis. I'm from the BBC." And then he gets all of their names, and obviously they all have like rap names. And what's your name? He's like, "Gangster. Hi, Gangster. I'm Louis."
I know.
He's never more been like, "What's your name? Slipknot. Hi, I'm Louis." It's just, it's still entertaining. He could do anything.
I feel like Louis Theroux's documentaries always have that sort of like set rhythm, which is they begin like in the middle of a scene. Yeah. So just begin, and he's like walking through someone's house, and like this random guy's like showing him stuff, and he'd be like, "Louis, these are all my cars. These are all my cars." Right. This one's a Lamborghini, and this one is a Ferrari. Right. Does your wife know you have all these cars? And then like
he's so neutral.
They'll fade it out. And then it'll be like,
I wanted to know about. Yeah.
I was trying to talk to Dave about his car collection. I was getting nowhere, so I wanted to speak to his wife.
And then it'll cut to him on the road, and he'll be like,
I was in Philadelphia, where there is a chronic car shortage.
It's a formula. He's got it down. Here's how and he really goes for, like, I want to see this person in their environment doing the mundane.
Yes.
And you film them, I assume, for a few hours, but you just get that really weird moment. The opening moment of this show, which is exactly that, is this guy in his car, and he pulls out an AR-15. He's like, right, is that really necessary? Like, do they know that you have that? And he's like, well, I'm in the hood. Like, anytime he's like, right, just the BBC are quite difficult about how we represent guns in the media. It's just so spot on. And then it goes into, I was in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted to learn all about the rap.
But trap music.
He loves
trap music.
Rap, trap, grime. He's absolutely obsessed with it. Like, he really does know his stuff, and not just because he was doing that documentary. Like, he grew up loving like Biggie, all the other people, like that whole area of like Detroit rap, and he still is obsessed with like RDH, all the British grime artists. He loves it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He absolutely loves it. Yeah.
My favorite Louis Theroux clip is on the episode where he went to see America's Most Dangerous Pets, the one where he met Joe Exotic like 10 years before Tiger King, right? And he goes to this house, and this woman keeps a chimpanzee in a shed, right? It's not going to be. And they say, and she's like, I'm going to get him out now. This is like an adolescent chimp, you know, so this chimp is like riled up. And he goes, okay, I think we're going to hide, just wait in the living room. And so they go in the living room, and they're filming from like the other side of the glass. Anyway, from across the lawn, like this stretch of grass, they get the chimpanzee out, and on this leash, and she lets it off the leash, and it immediately looks at the camera and goes, and like runs at the camera crew, jumps out of the window, smashes it, and then like runs around the grass, just like yelling and screaming. And Louis Theroux just like opens the door very gingerly to the guard and goes,
Jill, yeah, I think we've got everything. I think we're good. lovely. That was...
Right, that was...
Any more Lou you want to do?
I think we've got it, Jill.
You got to be careful you don't go into Cousin Greg.
I'm going, yeah.
You got to make sure it's not Cousin
Kermit
Greg
the Frog.
or Kermit the Frog.
Kermit the Frog's all the way.
It's
and then John C. Reilly's like somewhere in the middle.
Oh, John C. Reilly. No. No, that was Christopher Walken.
You're Christopher Walken. There
Wow.
is a spectrum. It's Kermit the Frog, John C. Reilly. No, it's Kermit the Frog, Christopher Walken, John C. Reilly, Greg from Succession, Louis Theroux.
So you're going from extreme to... Yeah.
It's like a Geiger counter. You either...
I realize... I see. He's British. But then if you make him American, Greg from Succession. Oh, God. Greg from Succession. Then, wow, John C. Reilly. How? Then
really,
even
and you get that luxuriness of walking.
It's the crazy. And then, Kermit the Frog here.
It's using the same
You're welcome.
vocal muscle.
Everyone.
So when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about, discuss, game-wise with you, I sort of had some ideas which didn't work, and I was just looking at like the decades of films.
Right.
And I was looking at like the biggest films, the smallest films. And you're really good at like years, dates, films, what happened when. You can pretty much tell me what day of the week it was within like a 10-year time frame. But I thought I have a list of every single film of the year it came out and what film was the highest, made the most money in the US, okay, of every single year. Now, I'm going to be fair. We're going to go through these, but I'm only going to do them from the time that you've been alive.
All right.
So from 1994 to present day. And I looked at this list, and some of them are... excuse me. Some of them you'll be able to guess. But some of them I think are pretty odd, and I'm pretty sure you didn't know that they were the highest grossing film of that year.
Okay.
So we're going to run through all of these. We're going to start in 1994.
Right.
So we're going to start
Yep.
with the year that you came onto this planet, 1994.
Hello.
What do you have any idea what was the highest grossing film of 1994? And if you don't, just say I've got no idea.
1994.
And I'm interested to see if this is surprising to you.
The Lion King.
No.
Okay. Because I'm trying to think of films not only that came out that year. Like, if you asked me what were the Best Picture nominees that year, I could do it. But I don't think any.
What was like the biggest film? Because there's some strange ones in here.
I just don't think any of the Best Picture nominees were box office the top box office ones. So like
weirdly in the 90s there were like early 90s there were so many the highest grossing films were animations. Not that that's a clue for this one, but it is.
I said like it's not the Lion King. Okay, is it animation?
No.
Okay. Well, the Best Picture nominees were that year were Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
You could.
It's not Pulp Kitchen, but
or Pulp Fiction, as it's actually called.
Yeah, so did I say Pulp Fiction?
yeah.
Sorry, that's what I say now.
So Pulp Fiction, no. Shawshank Redemption,
no.
Quiz Show,
No.
Forrest Gump.
Yes. That was the highest grossing film.
Yeah.
Made 329 million.
I mean,
Which is quite a lot.
I guess, and adjusted for inflation now would be even more.
Yeah, probably even more. There you go. That's the
okay.
The
right,
film
kicks
that
off. Okay, so
was
Forrest
the
Gump,
most popular by some metric in that year.
1995.
Right, 1995.
Okay. Toy Story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Toy Story. Which I still think is pretty significant. I know probably would be that less at 191 million.
Hey, I mean, look, the numbers mean nothing to us now in this sort of like 30
absolutely
years
not.
later. Hey, Toy Story, that deserves it. That's a great
And pretty
classic.
groundbreaking for its era.
Groundbreaking. 96?
96. This one might be more obvious, but not entirely.
Okay, so it's not...
It'll get easier as we go on. I think it's harder for you to...
96.
96.
Okay, live action?
Live action.
Okay. Braveheart. It's not... I mean, these are all the wrong years. 96. What came out in 96? True Lies.
Disaster movie.
Twister.
No.
Deep Impact.
No.
Armageddon.
You're thinking along the right lines.
Armageddon.
Really right lines.
Dante's Peak.
No.
Wait. Twister.
Aliens.
Independence Day.
Yes, Independence Day.
Yes.
Big film, made $306 million.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Disaster film.
You were on the way with Armageddon.
Yeah.
Less disaster, more just sort of like big sci-fi. I call it a disaster film.
Do you remember that bit in Austin Powers where he plays the Dr. Evil, because he's in the 60s, he plays the clip from Independence Day of the ship blowing up the White House. He's on the phone to the president. He's like, we will blow up the White House now. And he plays the clip and they go, oh my God. He goes, just kidding. There was a little clip from the movie Independence Day. Okay.
Do you like Independence Day? Do you have a soft spot for Independence Day?
Do you know, I caught the last 45 minutes of it on TV recently. And
And
Did you?
I really enjoyed it. It is so silly, but it's such a product of its time.
I think so many other films have been chasing the Independence Day dragon for a long time. Like you've seen Moonfall that's just come out. I mean, that's just going for
Same
Independence
director.
Day. Oh yeah, it is. Isn't
Roland
it?
Emmerich, yeah.
He's
riding the high.
20 plus years later trying to make that same film.
It is silly and it is ludicrous, but it's such a product of its time. And do you know what? Russell T Davies, I heard him on a podcast recently. And he loves Independence Day.
Yeah.
And he hates when people go, oh, it's so like gun-ho militaristic. And he said, what are you talking about? Those aliens were trying to fucking kill us. Fuck them.
He's really defensive, like it happened.
Yeah. And I was like, actually, you're right. In this world of this film, these aliens trying to kill us. And we just need to...
you'd need the military.
It's fun.
I like, that's a film where I'm not cynical of the whole like glorification of the American military and you're Mr. President. And like, we're going to live on.
Oh yeah,
we're going to succeed.
But also, the people are like, oh, I can't believe it's so stupid. At the end, he like hacks the alien spaceship with his Mac computer. Do you remember that, Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah,
but I'm like, if you're offended by that, you've gone into this film the wrong way.
Yeah.
Anything, in my opinion, anything can happen. So what he hacks into
I agree.
that's just movie language. Any type of hack is just movie magic.
I love that idea that like Area 51 has been studying the alien. All the theories about Area 51 are true. Obviously, they've been studying the tech for years and all of that. Independence Day. I wonder if I could watch that and enjoy it still. 1997. You should probably get this.
97. That was a big year. And I'm trying to think of the big...
You'll definitely know this film.
It's not an animation.
No.
It's... it's not a comedy, is it?
No.
When was the last time a comedy broke the box office?
Big film, 97.
It's not Jurassic Park, though.
No, Jurassic Park 93.
Armageddon.
No, Jurassic Park was 93. So
yeah, I thought it was. Okay, big
97.
97. Big. Is it a prestigious film?
Okay,
like
you've not seen it.
But is it an Oscar-winning? Like, is it Oscar?
Oh,
is it prestigious? Is it prestigious? Is it like?
I can't remember if it won. I think we just. I don't want to reveal.
Men in Black.
No,
I've seen Men in Black. What am I talking about?
Big film, one of the biggest highest grossing films of all time.
Oh.
97.
Titanic.
Yes, Titanic. Because you've not seen it, have you?
Not properly.
Did it? We discussed it on another show. Yeah. Did it get nominated?
It won Best Picture.
Okay, there you go. I completely forgot that. I'm sorry.
Is it prestigious? I don't know.
That. It made $600 million that year, but has since gone on to make. I think, maybe $2 billion.
Yeah, it's still up there, isn't it? In like the top
got a re-release, I think, a few years ago in 2017. 98. You talked about this film last week.
Saving Private Ryan.
Yes, Saving Private Ryan made $216 million, so not as much, but still going up there. I don't know if I was surprised by that because I'm sure it was really big at the time. But
I think I was surprised that a prestigious film could win so much. I mean, the same with Titanic, but Titanic is obviously such a big, epic,
huge appeal.
There's more like historical precedent. I mean, like a war film, it's not unheard of, but that feels almost even for 1998,
and even for Spielberg, it's like
it feels like of another era for films, for war films like that to win to make that much money, but bloody good films. So
same. Even though nothing against Saving Private Ryan, but I was scrolling through and went, a little bit.
It didn't win Best Picture though. It lost to Shakespeare in Love.
Okay.
Have you seen Shakespeare in Love?
Yes, I've seen Shakespeare.
I like that.
Really like
Shakespeare. People are really mean to it, but I like it.
Yeah, they are snooty.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Hey, that was the last time probably you could plausibly say a comedy, maybe a romantic comedy, a historical romantic comedy won
Best Picture.
Maybe.
That's
although you could say that you could argue that Green Book's a little bit of a comedy. Maybe. Oh, this is a separate conversation.
Green Book.
Give me the next one.
Next year, we're in 1999.
Okay. Turn of the century. Matrix.
No.
Oh.
No, not the highest grossing film. And you'll know why when you figure it out.
Because it's a big one.
Because it's, it's a big, you'll know why when you figure it out. 99, you were just a little kid.
Phantom Menace.
Yes, Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace.
God.
The start of the prequel trilogy, which understandably would have beaten The Matrix.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it was right to.
No.
But there you go. That's when it was officially the start of the new.
I remember being a kid at that time, and I was 5, 6, and I just remember like the amount of merchandising there was. I remember having this like Jar Jar Binks like sticky tongue thing, and there was like just Jar Jar Binks chocolates, and it was just everywhere. You couldn't
I
see
had
a
a Darth Maul figure where you press the button and he went like that with his lightsaber.
Yeah, everything. Merchandising. And then that iconic Darth Maul face paint. It was just everywhere.
Yes.
Like I really remember
and as
that.
much as you could go on for a whole 2 hours about why that film is not what we want it to be, I will give credit to this film for being the gateway drug
Yeah.
to me loving Star Wars, because it really is. Like, I wouldn't, if that wasn't heavily merchandised to me in the way that it was and marketed towards like 6, 7, 8-year-olds at the time, I would never have fallen in love with Star Wars, fallen in love with film, and probably not be sitting having this conversation with you.
Do you know, it took me, it was years before I realized that people didn't like that film.
Yeah.
Because I was a kid.
You
and
were
I
a
was
kid.
like, oh, I enjoyed Phantom Menace, put it on, you know. I love Jar Jar
Darth
Binks.
Maul, yeah.
And the pew, 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 and the droids and the
now
silly
this
bits.
is pod racing.
Yeah, that was all just fun for me. And it was only when I got like older, people were like, no, it's not. We don't like Phantom Menace. And then you watch and you go, ooh.
I told you the story. I was watching Phantom Menace on VHS at home. My uncle came over and he was like, what are you watching? I was like, Star Wars, it's great. And he was like, turn that off. Stopped me watching The Phantom Menace, took me to a shopping centre, bought the original 3 on VHS, and I just watched them. Absolutely fell in love with them.
Such like an uncle thing. What are you doing?
Yeah,
No, put that down.
Put that down. I'm going to show you some real Star Wars.
Get your real movie.
Yeah.
Okay, 2000.
This one I really didn't expect.
Okay.
But 2000. Sorry, Phantom Menace made 431 million.
Okay,
But,
so all these films are making more and more money.
usually, I'd say they start making really big money once you get to like 2006, 2007. But yeah,
Okay.
at the moment it kind of hovers around the 200 to 400 million range.
2000.
2000 Millennium. This I didn't expect, but here you go.
I've seen it.
You've seen it. If you can't get it, I'll give you a big clue, but I'd like to see if you can guess.
Is it a big movie?
No.
Oh.
There's nothing small about
Is
it.
it animation?
No.
Also, sorry, what came out?
Yes.
Toy Story 2 came out in 1999, didn't it? Or 97? Could be. No, 99. It must be
Is
99.
it 99?
No,
I'm not sure.
No,
You'll know.
No. I think it's coming up.
Okay.
2000. 2000. The big movie in the year 2000.
This, of all of them, this surprised me the most. I wonder if you agree.
The World Is Not Enough.
No. That would have been... I guess it could have made sense, but no.
Oh, God. Can you give me a clue?
Okay. This is the clue that you might get. You and I, in previous conversations, not on this podcast, have said that this is one of the most underrated comedy performances of all time.
In a film?
Yeah, in a film. We've said like that is one of the most underrated comedy performances. I don't know. Maybe you won't get it.
Oh, a comedy.
Okay, it's a Christmas film.
The Grinch.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Or as they call it, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. But as we know, it, The Grinch, #1 highest grossing film of the year 2000.
Wow.
Made 260 million, which is less than some of the other years, but still.
Fully deserves alphabetically.
And you agree it is one of the most underrated.
Oh, totally. Arabenson who? I just love it.
Stare into the abyss.
6 o'clock.
Exercise.
Dinner with me. I can't
cancel that again. I'm booked.
I love the. I was thinking about it the other day. That film is in my mind so much.
So
I
good.
got off the tube and for some reason in my head, the line of one man's garbage is another man's potpourri. I don't know. It's some kind of soup. You know, it's just. And when he tries the tablecloth, he fashions it into a dress and a skirt rather. And Max looks at him and he's like, "It's not a dress, it's a kilt, you sicko."
Max, where's my cloak?
Yeah. And you know what? I actually, the other day I came to meet you and some friends for a drinks and I was late and it was late on a Saturday evening. It was a long way away. And I had the Grinch in my head because I was thinking, what if it's a cruel prank? What if it's a cash bar?
There are so many things. Watching that as a kid, it went over my head.
Yeah.
It's all about like the visual of what he's doing, which is, and Jim Carrey can still work because he's so animated. And everything he says is being communicated through his body. So it works for you if you're 6, but watching that again as an adult, you're like, this is so like every single scene is just littered with things you never noticed the first time.
Have you seen the clip where he does the thing where he's talking about how he saw a kid and the kid was like, the mum was like, he plays the Grinch, and the kid was like, no, he doesn't, and then Jim Carrey goes,
my favorite.
And they were like, oh, I thought it was makeup.
My favorite is when he's in the mailroom and he's mixing everyone's passes. He's like, yours is his and his is hers and yours is his. Jury duty. He's like, it'll take them years to sort this out.
Could take a whole episode to talk about that film.
So that one really was like, wow, I had no idea. But like, good on them. And the fact they never made sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, I bet that was the last time a Christmas film was the biggest film of the year.
Yeah, because Home Alone was 1990, but that was before we started playing. Yes, and apparently Jim Carrey said that he had to go into 6 hours of makeup every single day, and he had to like meditate to be able to get through that torture. But goddamn, you don't notice that he was in a hard way.
Trooper.
2001, this one should be fairly obvious.
Toy Story 2?
No.
Oh, okay, wait.
This one, I look at it, I'm like, yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, animation?
Nope.
Okay, just gonna rule that out.
Live action?
2001. What am I thinking? I'm almost there.
I understand why you wouldn't get it.
Because I haven't seen it.
You see, maybe you've not seen it. It would explain a lot if you hadn't seen it, but I don't. You're not appreciative of these.
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
No, but you're on the sort of right kind of scale.
Two Towers?
No, but you're on the right sort of scale.
X-Men?
No.
Scale? Harry Potter.
Scale, yes, Harry Potter. The first film, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
No disrespect, just haven't really.
No, George is not a huge pothead, and that's totally fine. I obviously am, and he's wrong. But 317 million. But that film has 100% gone on to make way more than that.
Okay,
it's just endlessly good. 2002.
Okay. For some reason, the only film that came into my head, which is not the biggest film of that year, was the only film I could remember coming out in 2002, which was Bend It Like Beckham.
No, but I love Bend It Like Beckham.
Yeah.
We should talk about Bend It. We should just rewatch Bend It Like Beckham.
2002. Okay, is it Lord of the Rings? Is it Lord
No.
of the Rings? Is it a franchise film?
Yes.
Is it?
It's the first of the start of everything.
It's not Lord of the Rings.
No, but it's the start of everything. Everything that's in cinema now is because of this film.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
You haven't seen this one.
No,
You've seen 2.
I haven't seen it.
I love Spider-Man 1. It still works. It's corny, but I still love it. You've mentioned this film already. 2003.
X-Men?
No.
Fellowship of the Ring.
No.
Return of the King.
Yes,
Two Towers.
Return of the King.
Oh,
Return of the King also went on to win Best Picture for that year.
Yes, big.
Made 377 million, but went on to do way more that year. 2004. Again, this one is kind of surprising. Animation.
Finding Nemo.
No.
Monsters Inc.
No. DreamWorks.
Shrek 2.
Shrek 2. 441 million. Shrek 2.
Yeah,
like,
Shrek
no
was
wonder
big
they made
though.
like 3 more sequels, but Shrek was big.
So hang on, so Shrek came out in 2001.
Four.
But
Oh, sorry.
No,
Shrek-
Shrek 1 came out in 2001. But that what was the one that year?
That was Harry Potter.
Fair enough. That Shrek must have been number 2 or something, because I remember that being there for ages.
So 2005.
Sorry, can I just say?
Oh, sorry.
The thing about Shrek 1 on 2001, I
Yeah.
knew that was a massive hit, even at the time, because it was still showing at the cinema like 4 months later.
That's a sign.
And it was still showing when they were about to release it in Blockbuster to rent.
Yeah.
Because it closed up
Your
that
mind
window.
was like, well, why would I do that?
Yeah, I was just like, normally you have to wait ages.
Yes,
I was like, it's
yeah.
almost coming. Like, okay.
No, it's a good point. 2005, carrying on from one of the things we already said.
Harry Potter?
No.
Lord of the Rings?
No.
That's over.
No.
X-Men?
No.
Just think, George. Come on, actually apply your brain. 2005. 2005. The year.
Well, in my opinion, the Jedi are evil.
Oh, Revenge of the Sith.
Which I think is the best of the 3.
But that's like saying it's the worst of the worst.
Well,
the worst. It's the best of the worst.
The discussions are being had, George. I'm saying.
No, that's the one that's like
unlimited power. Unlimited power.
Move on.
2006, real dud one. I'm just going to say it. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Oh,
these made so much money. That made 423 million. Then on 2007.
Okay, all right. Transformers?
No.
Okay.
Good guess.
2007. What came out that
Continuation of one of the ones we recently said.
Oh, that's a shame. Because I was going to say, like, the Simpsons movie.
Yeah, no. It's easy that, like, Shrek as a new IP did that well, by the way. But anyway.
2007.
2007. It was our hero, but he
Spider-Man
was dark
3.
this time. Yes, Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 made 533 million, so the number's
big.
getting up. And then 2008, big one.
I'm
Really big
not
one.
on it
No,
today.
it's fine. It's
I'm a
fine.
bit
No,
slow
you're
today.
doing really well.
No, 2008. I'll get there.
One of
Okay.
the biggest cult fan. I think every big film is currently still trying to mimic what
Dark Knight.
Yes, The Dark Knight. 749 million. I think it could have been the highest grossing film outside of Titanic at that point.
Wow.
2009.
Okay. Slumdog Millionaire?
No, but
that came out in 2009,
It did
yeah.
come out in 2009. No, the film.
The film of 2009. Come on, George. Where were you? What were you doing?
Come on, the biggest film of all time. Unfortunately,
Avatar. Do you know why it's hard? Because a lot of these
really
films are coming out at the end. Like Avatar came out in December.
It's true. It's hard. No, this is really hard, but it's just we're throwing films.
All
We're
right.
going to move on because we discussed Avatar in another episode.
Yeah.
We have a video if you want to listen to what we think about Avatar and its 4 sequels. 2010.
2010.
By the way, Avatar has since made like almost $3 billion. It's insane.
2010.
2010. You've mentioned this series, and
in this conversation.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Toy Story 3.
Yes, Toy Story 3.
Great.
Let's give me a quick thing on Toy Story 3. You like Toy Story 3?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
Who doesn't?
You love it.
Well, I'm not evil.
Should
have been the end.
How dismissive you were about how you like it. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, obviously I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I like it. I loved it. Should have been the end. Toy Story 4 is fine, but didn't need to be.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
2011, I'm just going to say it. Harry Potter.
No, okay, you're fine. Yeah.
Sure?
No, I wouldn't have got it. Go on.
Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2, 381 million. Toy Story was 415. The next one, 2012, you should get.
Is it 2012, the movie?
No.
Okay.
Did that do well?
I thought no, I don't think it did.
Oh, but I see what you're saying.
2012, I will get it. I'm really off. James,
it's okay.
It's a big movie. A
big really big
Avengers.
Film. Avengers.
Oh,
Avengers.
but now we're into the Marvel
Now we're
era.
getting into it. 2013, I'm actually quite surprised, but it does make sense that this. By the way, Avengers in the year it came out made 623 million.
And let me guess, was Dark Knight Rises probably after that?
No, 2013. That was 2012.
Yeah, but 2012 was Dark Knight Rises after Avengers.
I don't have that info.
Just cut that bit. That was completely
2013.
useless.
I'm going to say.
No, wait.
You sure?
Man of Steel?
No.
Wait. World War Z?
No, but that's a good guess. But it's not on there. But I thought.
No, World War Z was famously a flop.
You probably
no. Give me a clue. Give me a clue.
Okay. Tween novel.
Twilight.
No.
Final. Hunger Games Catching Fire.
Yes.
Which I went to see that. One? This is why you shouldn't have guessed it, because I went to see that at the cinema, and that is actually one of the most memorable cinematic experiences of my life.
Wow. Okay.
Because I had seen the first one on a plane, quite enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I went into
decent plane.
I went into this huge Odeon screening room in Brighton.
Okay.
Right. I was at uni, first term, first year.
It was first term, first year.
It was
a screen like I'd never seen in my life.
It was absolutely packed.
Really?
Every single seat. I just had never experienced that before.
Demographic?
And it was so
everyone.
Everyone. From like probably 13 through to like 29. I don't know. Like
Makes sense.
But like just really raw, but not like misbehaved. Just
I know
like
that Odeon, right on the
lively.
seafront. It's a big cinema.
It's a bit grim. I'm not going to
It
lie.
is.
Anyway, it just so like palpable the tension. And we watched this film, and yeah, obviously there was noise, and there was people talking, but like people were so reacting, engaged in this film. It was electric. It was electric. The whole
You're electric talking about it.
I just couldn't believe it.
I just imagine you in your seat like, this is really quite something.
I know. I thought this was fine.
That film is exactly the same as the first Hunger Games. Just it's the quarter quell or whatever. I literally watched it. I was like, this is the same movie.
Yeah, but with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
So that made 424 million. 2014. Okay. This one's a bit of a. I wouldn't have guessed it, but I think
not a superhero film.
Not a superhero film.
Good. It's 12 Years a Slave.
No, that was 2013. No. We're on 2014.
Sorry, it was the award season of 2014.
Sorry.
Okay, can you tell me when this film? Do you know when this film came out in 2014?
No, I don't. I can find out for you if that helps. Okay, so it came out in January of. So it's actually saying 2015, which is interesting. But that'll be United Kingdom. So in the US, 2014. So end of the year, start of the new year. Award season.
So the biggest selling film of 2014 didn't come out until 2015.
Yeah. So I think it looks like in the UK it didn't come out until January, but in the US it was December.
And it was huge. Is it a Hobbit film?
No, I didn't. Not a bad guess.
Okay, the big Oscar films for 2014 to 15: Birdman, Boyhood, Whiplash.
You're nearly there.
Biggest.
Can I give you a hint? Gritty War.
Not Fury.
No. Old director.
Clint.
Yes. Bradley Cooper.
American Sniper.
American Sniper, very good.
Do you know what? And I also saw that at the Odeon in Brighton. That was the exact opposite.
Really?
I went to see that on a Sunday evening with my two flatmates. There was maybe two people sat at the front of the screening room. We sat near the back, which is this is where I learned not to sit at the back of a screening room ever.
No.
Because you just see everyone on their phones and people moving.
You lose the immersion, yeah.
Total immersion. It was such a cold, unengaging environment, and I thought the film was really disappointment.
It's surprisingly made 350 million, which is a lot of money. It's very Clint Eastwood, isn't it? Yeah. Moving on to 2015, this is a really big one.
Age of Ultron.
No.
No.
Oh,
okay.
Bigger than Age of Ultron.
In 2015?
Yeah, George. I mean, Bigger than Age
Mad
of
Max
Ultron.
Fury Road.
What, you think that's bigger than Age of Ultron? Bigger.
Bigger than Age?
Come on.
Is that even possible? Oh, I know. Again, it's Force Awakens.
Yes.
But again, that comes out at the end of 2015. So that's such a...
And that made $936 million, but has since gone on to make a lot
Oh
more.
my God, wow.
Very boringly.
But still not the most... Because at the time, I said it was going to be the biggest film of all time, but it's still not the biggest film of all time, is it?
No.
We know what that is. That's coming.
Yes.
2016.
2016, boringly continuing on from that.
Rogue One.
Yep. Rogue One, which kind of surprised me. That made 532 million. It's
People
about
were
half
still
as
high
much,
then on
but
the Star Wars is
people
back
were still
thing.
like, hey, I really, really like Rogue One.
I like Rogue One. I love the last third.
Oh my God. That is just...
Considering how much of a mess that film was in like,
Yes.
you know, off the scene. Ben Mendelsohn has said there's like a completely different version of that film that they made.
I can imagine, yeah.
Just
A guy who's frequently on a podcast I listen to is a British writer named Gary Whitta who co-wrote that film. And he still actually does like Star Wars comics and video game stuff, but he's a great guy and he co-wrote that movie and he always talks about like interesting things and how they came up with that. That Vader scene apparently wasn't that idea hasn't come up with till like really close to the end.
Yeah.
That the
Yeah,
idea that
one of the best
the
bits of the
plans
film.
were like being handed right before the events of A New
That's what I
Hope, which
love
is
about
just
that ending.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, this is going to go right up to like 5 minutes before the
and it made A New Hope better. It made
it's
it
not
like
even possible.
It's not even like fixed certain plot holes in New Hope. Anyway, like yeah, I'd love to do a rewatch of that film, but maybe in good time. And then even more, I mean, just you can tell where they're still making them. 2017. What would it have been? Continuing on. Sorry to sort of give it away.
What was the one you just 2016?
Well, I just said Rogue One, so after that is
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. There you go.
Okay.
That made 620, and there were no more Star Wars films that were in the top list. We should do a retrospective on The Last Jedi. I mean, I don't know where to start, but there we go. 2018. Oh, sorry. Last Jedi made 620 million. 2018. This was very much a... it was commented on at the Oscars about this film.
Black Panther.
Yes. I remember Jimmy Kimmel was like, Black Panther is just taking everyone at the box office. That made 700 million. But yeah, Black Panther, biggest film of that year, 700 million. Yeah. 2019.
Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, 858 million.
Which is still, and also now,
insane.
I think it's the second. I think Avatar's just overtaken it.
I think so.
Yeah.
They're trading places. I'm sure Avengers will get a re-release.
2020
this I think this year is why I wanted to do this, because it's just such a... So 2020, obviously, elephant in the room of a year.
Yeah.
Films didn't come out, but some in the periods just before and in that little summer period and then a bit towards the end, films did come out. I mean, this analysis is weird because it's hard to guess, but it's also very recently.
I mean, I think I could say...
What?
Tenet.
No.
Wonder Woman 84.
No.
Oh, wait.
This is why I'm like, you would... Because I would have guessed Tenet or probably...
Parasite?
No.
I wouldn't think that a film like Parasite would
No.
be relevant.
Parasite did very well, but not...
What film was big enough to come out...
You've not seen it.
But it was big. Ish.
For 2020, sure. Like it's not even. It's actually quite fascinating. It's so funny because the amount it made is so much lower, but it's just like another like blip in the grid.
Tell me how much money it made.
It made 204 million.
Whoa.
So you had the last 3 years were 620, 700, 858. Bear in mind these are the year they came out, so they're way more. This is at 204, and then you've got the rest of them.
Think away.
So technically, 2022, I have one for 2022, but you know, that's fun. 2021's the last year, so you should probably know that. And then 2020 is the only other year before that. So it's weird. It's not long ago, but you won't get it. I won't talk
I only
you for
went
too
to the
long.
cinema
To see Tenet with me.
I mean, I went to cinema quite a few times pre-pandemic, but after that, I only saw Tenet with you. So
I quite enjoyed the cinema before it all went down.
I'm trying to wonder what came out in 2020 that was at the cinema. Is it a Halloween film?
No.
Is it?
But no, it's kind of like the scale is kind of the right. You're on the right lines for the scale of film. Maybe a bit under. You're a bit under.
Is it a shooty film?
Yes.
It's a shooty
It's a
film.
shooty.
That's not... oh, God, right. That's not... Is it The Equalizer 2?
No.
Is it a film like that?
Not quite.
Is it a spy film?
No.
It's not one that came out on Netflix, obviously. I mean,
No,
sorry.
it had a cinema release.
Can you tell
This
me one of
might
the
give it away.
actors?
Okay, I'll tell you one of the actors. Martin Lawrence.
Bad Boys 3?
Bad Boys 3?
Bad Boys for Life.
Oh,
Bad Boys 3
Yeah.
was the highest at 204 million.
Good
was
Lord.
the highest
Any other
grossing
year, that
film.
wouldn't even be in the top 20
No.
or something. That's,
I mean, to be fair to it, 204 million is no small amount of money.
but when you say it got released in January, that is such an awful time to get released.
Will Smith, Martin Lawrence.
I've never seen any of them.
I've seen 2, and then I
Not even
think
Bad Boys 1.
maybe I think 2 is the kind of film that was.
You've not seen Bad Boys 2?
You've not seen Bad Boys 2? Best film ever. No, it's kind of film that would often be on Sky Movies, and it was a film directed by Michael Bay. And I think if you were about 10 or 11 years, or even younger, to be honest, I think I watched it. It was entertaining enough. Where I was like, oh yeah, this is fun action, quippy, Will Smith doing this thing. So I think at the time I was like, yeah, like this is something I could put on the TV, but I would not be enjoyable to watch now. Coming to the end, that was the one. I was like,
really intriguing.
Yeah,
that's
it's
so
really
funny.
quite like
you've got every other film there everyone's heard of, and
Yes.
and this one is such a pandemic. Only in a pandemic
honestly, like
year.
that and the Grinch. I'm like, you what?
Yeah. 20 years apart. My God. Okay.
Grinch is great though. 2021.
I think it's Spider-Man No Way Home.
It is Spider-Man No Way Home. Right, now it's quite fun. It's March. We're just about to hit March in 2022. What do you think? No, so far, because I have a number for like as of right now.
How much
what
money's
has been?
Well, I know it went over $1 billion, didn't it? No.
Sorry.
Wait,
Let
me think.
Spider-Man was 2021.
Yeah.
Even though we're watching it in 2022.
Yeah.
We have a film that is currently the highest grossing film for 2022.
Even though we're only like 8
Even though we're
weeks
only,
into the
what do you think so far has made the most money?
it's not The Matrix, is it?
No.
Because that didn't do very well.
No.
What?
Shit.
It's not.
If you want to hear about The Matrix, we have a video where we just disagree on it. Go on.
Is it a film I've seen?
No.
Oh, is it?
We've
is
discussed it.
We have discussed it, but we've not.
In passing,
have you
in a
seen
similar segment, we discussed this film.
Have you seen it?
No.
Is it a superhero film?
No.
Is it an Oscar film?
No.
Big film? Is it a child film?
No.
A child film. God, forgive me.
Child film.
Give me a clue.
Let's say this is probably the 6th film in its franchise, a 5th or 6th film.
I am so off form today.
It's famous for twists. This is pretty hard.
I was going to say like it's famous for Death of the Nile. Death on the Nile.
No, that's not the 6th film in its
I'm
franchise.
sorry, I'm not listening to you. Basically,
David Arquette.
Scream
6.
6.
It could be 6.
No,
Scream
Scream 5.
2022.
Scream 5.
Sorry, 5. Scream
Scream.
2022 so far at 74 million. So obviously,
That's pittance.
not that it was going to ever chart. But there you go. I mean, those are the films. There's a long time to get there. Depressingly, a lot of Star Wars in a row. A lot of Marvel films most recently.
But basically, pre-2010, you've got like quite an interesting
Animations,
comedies.
I'm
roughly.
weird that Frozen wasn't there because I remember that made so much money. And that was 2014 Frozen.
Yeah, are you sure? Have you done this properly?
I'm on a page which
You
says...
tell me American Sniper made more than Frozen.
That does sound weird to me, doesn't
Frozen
it?
came out in 2013, at the end of 2013.
Well, 2013 is Hunger Games Catching Fire. So
but-
this is what I mean.
but
Like, if
Hunger
a film
Games
came out
earlier.
if it had come out earlier, would it have charted?
But then are they counting it from now? Are they calculating it now? Or are they counting it?
It's not clear how they're calculating it. I mean, look, it was still an interesting exercise. Do you even think Avengers 1 is that great to watch now?
Oh, I haven't watched it since like 2013. So I think it would be a bit...
I'd say I've watched it in the last... I think I watched it 3 or 4 years ago in a like rewatch I did of Marvel.
I bet it's dated though.
I wonder if it's just a bit. Well, I don't know what it
Put it
is.
this way, I rewatched Age of Ultron when Endgame came out.
Right, okay.
That's only 4 years later, and I was
I did that at a similar time.
amazed at how much had changed in
Yeah.
those 4 years. Those characters are so boring compared to
That's
Captain
because
America.
we know them better than they did.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
the time,
Right.
Yeah.
And so like now we look back and Captain America is really boring.
So
Ultron.
boring.
Thor is
Thor.
really boring. He's just the same. Everyone's too serious, and it's just completely uninteresting. So if you go back even further than that, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not as good. So
There you go, mate. I mean, those are the films that got the most attention.
that was an interesting run through. It's interesting. You kind of get a sense of how cinema has changed. Yeah, it's been very much homogenized into the.
I would have
Star
gone
Wars
back
now.
further, but it would have been too long. And I also think you would have found it harder to choose them. But Things like Jurassic Park are in there.
I think the 90s is the most interesting time. The time when Independence Day, that for me feels like the purest like throwback.
Yes,
of
the
what
summer
cinema,
blockbuster.
the summer the popcorn blockbuster,
Yes.
the big alien spaceships.
100%.
If you made, as they did with the sequel, but if you made or like Moonfall now, like an equivalent film.
Yeah, it doesn't quite capture the same
Maybe
way.
that's it. Maybe those films aren't actually the start of something, it's the end. It's like that launched Independence Day was the genie out the bottle, and then you can't really repeat that.
I think it's just captured this like pre-internet era of like aliens come down and we're all just far too like we'd all be so engaged if it happened then, whereas now
but
we're
it's
just
also
like
kind of there's something kind of like ravey and 90s about
Yeah.
Independence Day, like oh yeah man,
Welcome to Earth.
yeah,
Punch him in the
yeah,
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hip like
Yeah.
that in the 90s.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, of course. Oh, wow, huge aliens.
That's the mothership.
And wait a minute, wait for a pause. Will's coming with me on the spaceship. All right, do.
Thank you so much for watching and listening to this episode of Pulp Kitchen. Don't forget, we post a new episode of this show every single Wednesday.
And we've got plenty more content coming on the channel throughout the week, so keep an eye out for that when you're listening or watching.
There'll be more reviews that we don't include in here, so it'll be on all the feeds on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us there. If you're watching, please drop us a like and subscribe. It makes a really big difference. And if you're listening, leave us a review.
See you next week.
Oh!